Nintendo just came out with the updated sales figures this morning for the Nintendo Switch and its software, and it's clear that the Nintendo Switch train is still rolling. In today's video, we're going to break down all the sales figures, both for software and of course hardware, as well as some of the records that the Nintendo Switch has beaten. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it. The Nintendo Switch has hit a new milestone for Nintendo, hitting 79.87 million units after being 46 months on the market. This is phenomenal. Around the same time frame, PS4 was around 67 million, and PS2 was around 69.5 million. So right now, if the Nintendo Switch was to keep this pace, they're heading for a record number. Now, it's arguable if they're actually going to be able to do that. I think PS2 is a number that's going to be incredibly hard to beat for the fact that it sold really well over 13 years. Wii was at 75 million around the same time frame. So here's how the Switch compares to the other Nintendo consoles. After 46 months, the Nintendo DS was around 83 million, the Wii was around 75 million, the 3DS was at 50 million, and the Wii U it was around 13 million. At this moment, the Nintendo Switch has outsold the lifetime sales of the 3DS. Now the 3DS will probably have a little bit added to, just like a micro amount over the next year as the remaining stock gets sold in stores. But yeah, the Switch has overtaken the 3DS. It's phenomenal. It's crazy, and it's even crazy when you think about the Switch Lite alone has sold 13.53 million units. The Wii U has sold 13.56 million units. It's going to overtake it easy and by a huge margin. The Switch is still popular than ever. In fact, this past quarter was the best quarter that Nintendo has had since 2008. Switch has sold more in this past quarter than it has ever sold, which is just crazy when you think about a console that's in the middle of its supposed lifespan. This thing is in here for the long haul. People are buying it more than ever, and people are very happy with it. In fact, people are buying software more than ever, and we're going to dive into that into the next part here. Animal Crossing New Horizons, the monstrous hit for the Nintendo Switch, has sold 31.18 million units. Okay, 31.18 pieces. That's crazy. Oh my god. This is the number 2 best-selling Nintendo Switch title. Mario Kart 8 still has the lead at 33.41 million units. But to put it in perspective, this thing still has not hit a year mark. Mario Kart 8 has sold 33.41 million units over a long stretch of time. Animal Crossing has nearly done it in less than a year. To put it in perspective, around 39% of all Switch owners have Animal Crossing. That's just bonkers. Utterly bonkers. There were more copies of Animal Crossing New Horizons sold in 2020, and it was released in March, than the Switch and Switch Lite hardware combined sold in 2020. Animal Crossing New Horizons has become one of Nintendo's best-selling games of all time. This has taken the franchise that has always been kind of popular, well-liked by the fan base, and taken it into a level that it's with the Mario Karts, Mario itself, Pokemon, freaking Legend of Zelda. It's in the upper tier, and it's going to be interesting seeing this game going forward, what they're going to do with the franchise. Of course, eventually the next game, but also they've talked about like year 2, year 3, this game is supposed to be supported for a long time, and it's curious to see if this game is going to receive some kind of paid DLC at some point, because there's a huge fan base out there, a huge install base out there rather, and there's a potential for Nintendo to make some buku bucks if they want to go that route. But we'll see. Regardless, Animal Crossing New Horizons, if you're one of the few that don't have it, you might need to check it out. Beyond the updated sales numbers for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Animal Crossing New Horizons, a bunch of other software has received updated numbers as well. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is still at number 3 at 22.85 million units sold. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is at 21.45 million. Pokemon Sword and Shield have reached over 20 million units sold, making it the best Pokemon launch since Gold and Silver way back when. It's incredible for those two games. Super Mario Odyssey is right behind at 20.23 million units sold. Super Mario Party, I'm still surprised it's sold as many as it has, at 13.82 million units sold. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are at an even 13 mil. Splatoon 2 is at 11.9 million units. And new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is at nearly 10 million units sold. Great numbers all around. Beyond those top 10 titles, there's a lot to root for the Nintendo Switch in terms of software sales. There are 29 titles right now that have over 1 million units sold. 20 of them with Nintendo, first-party titles, and 9 other by other software publishers, which is actually pretty good, all things considered. We know that Nintendo is always going to dominate because their first-party brand is incredibly strong on their consoles, but it's nice to see that third-party publishers are also finding great success on the Nintendo Switch. As for other Nintendo Switch first-party titles, the Ring Fit is now at 8.68 million units. It sold really well over this past quarter. Paper Mario is over 3 million. Luigi's Mansion 3 is over 9 million now. Clubhouse Games is over 2.6 million. Xenoblade Definitive Edition is over 1.5 million. Age of Calamity in the last quarter alone sold 3.5 million units. It did incredibly well. Pikmin 3 Deluxe is at 1.94 million, almost at 2 million. And Mario Kart Live Home Circuit sold over 1 million units, which is pretty impressive for the hardware. So now we get to the part of the video where I kind of predict the future in terms of numbers for the next time we come around to this. And honestly, I think that eventually Animal Crossing will take that top spot. It's just doing phenomenal. It's still as popular as ever. It has so many crazy numbers. I think eventually the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it will slow down in terms of software sold, but it's still crazy. You're going to see titles like Age of Calamity still add to its number. I think 3D All-Stars, when it's all said and done, with March date looming here for... I still can't believe Nintendo's doing that, but it'll be over 10 million easy for that title. As far as Switch hardware being sold, I think it's still going to keep a record pace, especially with the supposed Nintendo Switch Pro coming out this year. I think that will really shoot up some numbers as well. And I think before it's all said and done, Nintendo Switch is going to be up there in the record books. Now, will it overtake the top spot? I don't see it overtaking the top spot of console sold with the PlayStation 2, but who knows at this point. Nintendo Switch has proven to be one of Nintendo's most successful consoles at this point, and it's only in the middle of its life cycle. We're gonna see. It's just crazy. Software sales is a big thing for Nintendo. I know that everyone puts a lot of bank into console units or handhelds sold, and that is a big important thing for a company, but software is really important, and the attach rate for Nintendo Switch is incredibly high. It's obvious with the number of million units sold for a lot of these titles, 29 of them right now. That's bonkers. And there's going to be even more titles down the road that's going to add to that list. So yeah, Nintendo Switch is just crazy. It's a great time to be a Nintendo fan with all these games being released and good stuff for Nintendo. And keep in mind, we still got other games like 3D World that's going to come out, as well as Monster Hunter Rise, which I think is going to be a huge success for Nintendo Switch, as well as supposedly Metroid 4, Bayonetta 3, and the sequel to Breath of the Wild. This year looks like it's going to be a big year, and you're going to see quarter by quarter just growing and growing. And I'm going to continue with these videos because they proved to be pretty popular, and I think people are interested in terms to see how the success is for the Nintendo Switch. We're in the middle of a pretty historic console run, going up against with the PlayStation 5 coming out and the Xbox Series X, and here's the Nintendo Switch dominating more than ever. We'll see where this leads to, but it's gonna be a fun ride. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed all the updated numbers. If you have any comments or questions, please post it down below. I'm curious to hear your feedback in terms of what's going on. I'm curious to hear your predictions for the future for Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. And consider subscribing, guys. I'm trying to hit 250 followers. Once we hit that goal over 250 followers, I'm going to do another eShop gift card giveaway. Also, check out my Discord and Twitch channel. The links to all that are in the description box down below. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.